Plastics United. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Plastics United, our little program to give faith and confidence in these troubled corona times to the plastics world. And today we are talking to Austria, and I'm connected to Borealis. Its CEO, Alfred Stern, is connected. Hello, Mr. Stern. How are you doing in Austria?
Hello, Mr. Marschall. Thank you very much. We are actually doing quite okay in Austria. I think you have probably seen in the news that the Austrian government has started to relax some of the lockdown requirements.
Yes.
And things are coming back a little bit to the, I would call it the new normal life.
Yes, and that is good news, and I hope we can come to this situation all over the world, even though there are some countries still struggling quite a lot. And in the Borealis Group, you are a worldwide company group. I think you have different status of corona crisis, right?
Yeah, that's actually correct. And it's actually interesting to watch how this happened. We could see in the first quarter of this year actually in Asia pretty significant influence on our results. We could see that the demand was reduced. The Chinese lockdown was clearly visible. We could see the low oil prices. They are changing the pricing environment. And we can now see that this is opening up again, that demand is coming back, the production is coming back, and we see that effect.
Yeah.
In the meantime, the wave has moved over to Europe, and we saw similar kind of lockdowns in Europe. Then if you go to North America, where we have our joint venture with Total, there we see also some impact now of the lockdown situation.
Yeah. And but on the other side, people are coming back to their workplaces, to their offices, and so did you. I guess this is not your home office, right?
Actually, today I'm in the office. You're correct. What we did is about 2 weeks ago, so last Monday, we started to come back to the office.
Yeah.
We did a risk assessment if this would be possible. We have implemented a shift working system, so there's alternating days where people come in, and we have pretty high standards. People, we are not shaking hands. We are wearing face masks. We are keeping a distance from each other. But I can tell you, I personally think it's great to be back in the office after 7 weeks from the home office.
Yes, that is true. Let us talk about another topic which is quite common in the plastics industry in these days. The image of plastics is changing quite a lot, because before the corona crisis we had a lot of plastics bashing, and it was in the news almost every day, the pollution with plastics in the oceans and stuff like that. All important topics, and it was good to discuss about that. But now, during the corona crisis, it seems as if plastics are increasing or improving their image. Don't you think so?
I actually think so. I think it's interesting to watch. As you maybe know, we are active in quite a number of market segments. And what we have seen in Borealis is that through this crisis, the different market segments had quite a different business performance. We have quite a broad offering for the automotive sector, for example. And in this sector, we have seen demand reduce very significantly. Whereas on the other side, for the advanced packaging sector, for example, or the healthcare sector, we have actually in some segments seen increasing sales, increasing demand. At Borealis, for example, we make the polypropylene that is needed to make the fabric for face masks or other personal protective equipment. You can imagine that segment has increased a lot. We had to replan some of our production to find additional capacity to make sure we can supply that. Also, the packaging area has been very active, because when you go to a supermarket today, everybody wants their food packaged. People don't want open food because they are concerned about hygiene, about contamination, and this is what plastic packaging can offer, of course.
When do you expect this crisis to be over for the plastics industry on the one side, but for mankind on the other side?
Yeah, I would agree with the popular opinion of many scientists that before we don't have a vaccination and proper medical treatment for this COVID-19, it will be very difficult. I think we have to count on a new normal life for a little bit longer. I actually think there's a lot to learn, right? A colleague of mine used to say all the time, there's always something that you can learn from a crisis, and you should make sure you take those learnings. So what have we learned in Borealis? Like I said, we have been operating all our plants through the crisis because our products are important and there's demand. But what we had to do is in the plants, we had to find ways how the people can work with increased safety and health standards. So very rapidly, our operators, thanks to our strong safety culture, were able to implement all kinds of measures to still be able to come to work, to come to the plants and work there safely and keep all the plants running. So that's amazing. And on the other side, all the people that are working in offices and that could go home, they were in home offices, working from their home offices for many weeks here in Austria, for at least 7 weeks, and we were still able to keep operations running. I think we have learned a lot in that time. Digitalization has increased and the speed of implementation has gone up, and I'm sure we will keep a couple of those things because we have learned some of them just work better than what we had before.
And you know what I like most? I can almost hear and feel how proud you are of your employees throughout the entire company group, and that is good news to hear that that the chiefs of the companies are really teaming up with their staffs to overcome this crisis. Sounds really great, and I keep my fingers crossed that we will all come back to an almost normal situation as soon as possible. Thank you for joining in this today's show.
Yeah, there's one thing that I would like to mention, right? While we are seeing the increased appreciation of plastics, I think we should also not close our eyes to the challenges because those have not gone away. Marine littering is still there, and plastic materials after use are being thrown away as waste landfill, and that's a waste of valuable resources. We need to make sure also through this crisis that we keep focused on circular economy. We must make plastics circular and on finding ways how to produce our products with lower CO2 footprints. I think this is a big chance. This crisis is also a big chance to make this happen and to strengthen this sector. We are committed at Borealis to do this, and we will continue to invest in this area.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for this final message in our little interview. Thanks for participating. We hopefully will soon meet again in person. Right? So thank you very much. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. As you know, we are here every day to talk about the activities of the plastics industry companies and how they are coping with this crisis. Please stay healthy. Please spread the word and spread our little program throughout the world for our plastics family throughout the world. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. All the best. Stay healthy.